welfare has not been a concept. Leave a church, especially a church that you are comfortable, and go to another church unless there is a problem. So God started speaking to me, and I was so sure. He said, I'm taking you to a place to meet a need. And the thing was so much upon me that one Monday morning, I remember, I decided to wait upon God. Wait, what is God really saying? And as I wanted to be praying like this, you know, when you are praying about something that you know is God's will, as I wanted to be praying like this, that conviction just came upon me. And out of struggle, I took my hymnal and I was singing, wherever it leads, I go. I didn't know when tears was coming, because I knew God's will, but it was difficult for me to follow it. And that Monday, as we get to the family devotion that day, we were using sick daily. And when it comes to sick daily, what we read that day was the story of Philip. Philip was in Samaria, and his ministry was flourishing with signs and wonders. And Holy Spirit just took him to the wilderness. That's when God told me, I'm taking you to a place to meet a need. So the thing was so much, came as a confirmation. I was still struggling. On Friday of the same week, you know what we read? We read the story of Jonah. And that just settled. The thing was so much on me, and I look at it. Who is the writer of this week that the thing so touched me so much? And I went to the front to go and check the writer. Lo and behold, the writer was one of my church members. One of my church members. He's a journalist. And I said, God, I submit to your will. Because I look, it was after that the church came, representative of the church. I think you are one of them. I remember Deacon Sakiri was one of them. 3 of you. They didn't meet me, I was on leave. They met my secretary. I still remember what they put down. They wrote a letter. They said, we have come to discuss a matter of God's business with you. I don't know who wrote it, but remember that what was written. We have come to discuss a matter of God's business with you. As I came back and my secretary gave me like this, Oz just said, this is what I've been preparing you for. And I was trying to ask about the church. I didn't receive any positive thing. You know, it does not make sense coming. You didn't want to come. You didn't hear good reports. It does not make sense at all. But I said, God, have your way. And he now came with a word. He said, in obedience, I will bless you. And since I've been here, I've never regretted it. In fact, I see myself being at the center of God's will. So, brethren, what is that God is asking you to do and it does not make sense? Forget about your own wisdom. Forget about anything. Forget about it. God is all wise. He knows what is best for you. Every other person may see it as nonsense, but he knows what is best for you. Don't let anybody talk you out of God's will using human knowledge. I went to somebody after I dropped my letter to be here. I went to somebody to go and say, I I received a call, I'm going to this church. You know what the pastor said? I said, pastor, tẹ́ ẹ bá ti drop letter ni, màá ní ẹ má lọ church yẹn. If you have not dropped your letter, I will say don't go to that church. I don't know whether somebody is talking you out of God's will. I guess the person knows it. The person knows, not I guess, the person knows the church. Itato. Is somebody talking you out of God's will? Out of love, out of experience, and you are stylishly abandoning God's will. There are some people you don't tell about something that you are absolutely convinced of, because you can know what they will say. And if care is not taken, they will talk you out of God's will. Counseling, in the multitude of counseling, there is safety. If indeed God has spoken to you, you should be ready to allow people to scrutinize it. That's what I'm saying. But if you know somebody has a tendency of talking you out of God's will, I want to encourage you, take that person out. Guys, even in this difficult situation, in the wilderness season, when God is not removing the pain, God is wise. He knows what is best for us.